Joining us now for World Brief and the review of some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Adefemi Akinsanya. Good morning, Adefemi.
Good morning, Dr. Ruben. Welcome back. Welcome back. And congratulations to your children on their graduation. Congratulations to them all.
Thank you.
Morning, Vimbai.
Morning, Adefem. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. Morning, Rufai.
And Dr. Abati,
yes.
Countdown begins. So let me say, I receive something about a countdown. In fact, that countdown started.
That's very true.
Dr. Abati, we are preparing. We are all waiting for it.
Well, we're in July. And we're receiving a box from November. So those implications must be massive.
Implications
So that you don't forget.
All roads leads to Dr. Abati in November.
In November.
Yes.
We are ready.
The implications are going to be plenty. But first,
Dr. Abati,
let me tell you
what
is happening around the world. Now,
So
Pope Leo.
if you like her so much, you to go and marry.
Don't worry.
If I'm a source of inspiration, do the same thing.
Is it Dr. Abati's wife you'll marry? No. Don't mind it. Let me tell you what's happening around the world. Now, Pope Leo XIV has condemned the barbarity of the war in Gaza and the indiscriminate use of force, as Gaza's civil defense agency said at least 93 Palestinians had been killed while queuing for food. And Israel issued a fresh evacuation order for areas packed with displaced people. Now, Gaza's health ministry said scores were killed by Israeli fire while waiting for UN aid trucks entering through the northern Zikim crossing with Israel. It was one of the highest reported death tolls among recent cases in which aid seekers have been killed by Israeli fire. Elsewhere, 9 others were reportedly shot dead near an aid point close to Rafah in the south, where dozens of people lost their lives just 24 hours earlier, while 4 were killed near another aid site in Khan Yunis. To Japan now, where the country's ruling coalition has lost its majority in the country's upper house, but Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba has said he has no plans to quit. Voters went to the polls on Sunday for the tightly contested election being held at a time of frustration at the coalition of the Liberal Democratic Party, also known as the LDP, and its junior party, Komeito. And they've been feuding over rising prices and the threat of US tariffs. Now, speaking after the polls closed on Sunday, the Prime Minister said that he solemnly accepts the harsh result, but that his focus remains on trade negotiations. Having already lost its majority in Japan's more powerful lower house last year, this defeat will undermine the coalition's influence. And finally, leader of the UK Conservative Party, Kemi Badenoch, has drawn comparisons between gaining citizenship as a Nigerian in the United Kingdom as opposed to citizenship of the children of Nigerian women. Now, during an interview with an American network, Badenoch shared how she cannot pass her rights of Nigerian citizenship to her children because of her gender. She went on to say that immigrants often exploit the British system, leaving the United Kingdom vulnerable to threats. And when asked if she would permit a Nigerian immigrant to create a so-called mini Nigeria in the United Kingdom for cultural integration, her response was a swift no. Now, Badenoch does have 3 children with her husband, who is British. Contrary to Badenoch's claim, though, Section 25(1)(c) of the Nigerian Constitution states that a person born outside the country is a citizen of Nigeria if either of their parents is Nigerian. But I think the issue she was talking about was trying to get her children passports, Nigerian passports, in the struggle. And I'd love to hear your thoughts, Bimbai, on this, being our resident Niger wife, what your experience has been like, whether they're in line with what she's had to say. But I'd love to hear your thoughts before we move on to the papers.
Vimba, your thoughts on this?
Okay, all right. Do you want me to go first? Well, I mean, Kemi Badenoch couldn't be more wrong. Yes, the process, is difficult and it's cumbersome.
Yes.
However, any Nigerian citizen, whether it be male or female, if that person is to have children, those children are entitled to Nigerian citizenship. So I'm not sure whether she's intentionally being ignorant, whether she's being troublesome, whether she's trying to stir the pot unnecessarily, but she doesn't need to carry this brand of blemishing her nation the way she does. I'm a Zimbabwean here in Nigeria. You don't see me taking every opportunity to blemish my country for the sake of acceptance by Nigerian citizens. It's wrong and it's unfair to Nigeria, because it's one thing if you're reporting based off of truth and fact, then that's your truth, no problem. Tell the truth, Kemi. Know your constitution. You can't know the British constitution better than you know the Nigerian constitution, because trust me, when it comes down to it, you're never going to be British enough. That's the honest truth, whether you like it or not. You know, as Africans, sometimes things might go wrong in our family line. It's when things go wrong in your family line that you remember your village where you came from, because it's only there you can go and speak to your elders and speak to your village people to be able to rectify a few things. So on this, you know, she's wrong, both factually and in my opinion, ethically wrong as well. Very quickly on Japan, a very fascinating election for me, especially given that this Sanseito party, which is the growing populist party, campaigned off of Japan first. And what are the main issues? Their main issues, they're focusing on immigration. They're focusing on, and if you go online and you see the amount of vitriol there is towards citizens of Bangladesh, towards people of other faiths and so forth. And of course, we know that Japan is a purist society where culture is concerned, but I don't think purism means that we need to start popularizing xenophobia and racism, so it be. However, this is the sentiment of the people.
So the truth has to be said. I don't know. I've given up on Kemi Badenoch already long ago. This need for her to always use Nigeria as a comparison for what is bad, and the UK, the same UK that I know, that I go to as utopia, is what even scares me the most. I mean, because when you also look at it, as in the case of what she said, you know, when she said, oh, police harassed my brother, blah, 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 there's no need for it. There's no need for the comparison. This excessively negative benchmarking of Nigeria is a problem. The truth is, yes, are there challenges with getting the, the visas? Yes. Are there challenges with the visa process in Nigeria? Yes. But the fact that you will not get it, and she claims she's not been able to get it. So I'd like to ask Kemi. She has been to Nigeria a couple of times. In fact, I've seen a picture of her in the polo club with her kids. What passport did they use to get into Nigeria then? Was it a British passport, or they got a Nigerian visa? And all this while, if she cares so much, she was never able to get it? And in terms of the conversation about building mini Nigerian communities, but this was the same Kemi that when she was running for MP for Dulwich, campaigned based on that Nigerian mini community that stand up for your girl. That was in 2010. Was it not the same Kemi? So this hypocrisy, because you want to be white, you want to be more British than the British, you want to be holier than the Pope. It's another sad one, but anyway, that's the way some Africans behave. Kemi is not the first to do it now. We saw many African leaders do the same. Many African leaders today are even worse than Kemi Badenoch as we speak. They sell their country for cheap to the West. So I'm not surprised. So Kemi, welcome to the club. You have forefathers and ancestors in this business you are doing. It's not today. Some sovereign African leaders do it as we speak. So Kemi, welcome to the club. Olawo Babanle.
Okay.
As regards Israel, Femi, very soon we'll celebrate 60,000 people Israel has killed in Gaza.
Celebrate.
Yes. Yeah, we'll celebrate.
Oh, Marcus.
No. I would say, I deliberately said the word celebrate. We'll celebrate now because isn't the word celebrating the heinous crimes and the devilish crimes of Netanyahu? Isn't America celebrating it by urging him on, by saying they have a special relationship with Israel? So we'll celebrate the bloods of people on their neck now. No, I deliberately used that word celebrate. We'll celebrate the killing prowess of Israel. We celebrate the annihilation of Gaza. We should celebrate, in fact, let's carry drums and be dancing in celebration of Israel. Oh, Israel, how wonderful are you in killing other human beings? How great are you, Netanyahu, the killing machine of the world? We celebrate you.
Dr. Rubin, your thoughts?
Okay, where do I start from? Let me start from Japan.
Okay.
Now, Prime Minister Shigeru succeeded Shinzo Abe. The main problem is that Shigeru is not considered nationalistic enough. Shinzo Abe was an ultra-nationalist, and that's why the conservative wing of the politics in that country, the Sanseto, which Vimbai mentioned, they're saying, look, in the face of the rising cost of living and in the face of threat of Trump's tariffs, and also China. They do not see that Shigeru, is against all these forces enough. And that was why his party, the LDP, Liberal Democratic Party, needed 50 seats in the Senate election which took place yesterday, over the weekend, but they got 47.
Yes.
The next party got, I think the Conservative Party got 22 seats, but he couldn't get a majority. But on the back of that, he is saying that he's not going to resign. He's going to wait it out. As you pointed out last year, they also lost the majority in the House of Representatives. So the issue is that the coalition is not in place. But what you must note here is that the Japanese yen appreciated 0.21% against the dollar after the election, as of this morning. So which means that, there is a general sentiment within the Japanese community that Prime Minister Shigeru is not doing well. Now, as for Israel, we keep discussing this subject again and again. The Israeli Defense Forces, the first time you brought this story, when the conversation started about how to get the release of the 50 hostages and to ensure a ceasefire.
Yes.
Now, we were told by contractors working for the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, the GHF, which is backed by Israel and the United States, that the guards that were employed were killing innocent people. And now again, over the weekend, we have been told that 67 persons were killed in northern Gaza. Why? Just because they wanted access to aid. So it shows that Israel is even hypocritical about this peace process. After all, the Hamas had promised that by this week, they were willing to release 10 out of the 50 hostages. The conversations in Qatar, has not made any progress, simply because Israel insists on the complete annihilation of the Gaza Strip. They tell people, even in this particular case, to evacuate. They want a complete evacuation of the Gaza Strip. And now the people of Gaza, the Hamas, is saying that, look, they are not going to disengage. They are not going to down their arms. And, what they want is a ceasefire. And for Israel to stop it. In between that, you have the United States, which will say the right thing in public and say another thing to Israel. Plus the major challenge that Benjamin Netanyahu has in Israel, the Zionist Religious Party and other right-wingers who are saying that, look, this is what you must do, we must annihilate. Now, what you find is this rise of extremism, conservatism, right-wing extremism in different parts of the world. You had another topic which I can comment on.
Badenoch.
Kemi Badenoch. Chapter 3 of the 1999 Constitution deals with citizenship from section 25 to section 32. Now, you can become a citizen of Nigeria either by naturalization, by birth, by,
marriage,
by whatever
business, all of that stuff,
However, section 25, sub 1 says that if either of your parents is a Nigerian, you can have the citizenship of Nigeria. In other words, Kemi Badenoch, being a citizen of Nigeria through her own parents, although she was born in the UK in 1980, she is a citizen. So she's a citizen. It means that her children automatically qualify for Nigerian citizenship. So there is no discrimination against children who are born to Nigerian parents.
I'm thinking maybe she meant her husband, that maybe her husband would struggle. Perhaps that could open up the conversation a bit more. But the topic about children is, as you've already discussed, just incorrect. But I wonder if she means she can't get one for her husband.
She's trying to be politically correct. Because, she's been all this hard right, conservative persons, and she's been using anti-immigration rhetoric to be more British than the British. Harriet Beecher Stowe wrote a book, called Uncle Tom's Cabin. I think that, Kemi Badenoch is a modern-day reincarnation of Uncle Tom who thinks by identifying with the outsider, she can keep abusing her own country. The equivalent in literature is anti-Jemima. This is anti-Jemima of modern day creation. However, she keeps criticizing Nigeria. She says there are armed robbers in Nigeria. She says Nigerians are this and that. So this same country that she's been bad-mouthing, I think it's even the height of hypocrisy that she thinks her children should take Nigerian citizenship. Well, I think she says we are not good in Nigeria. She thinks we are bad people in Nigeria. So why does she want her children to be citizens of Nigeria?
Why not?
All right. I think it's a case of delusion we're dealing with here.
Well, Kemi, that's what they said here about you. We would love to hear your thoughts.
And even
you're more than welcome.
And
your children will still get their passports. You are welcome to come to Arise News to share your experiences.
She's come to Polo Club.
Let's move on to papers. I know we're short on time this morning. Let's take a look at the front page of This Day. Now, This Day, of course, reports that President Tinubu has shared that within hours he lost 2 men he held in high esteem last Sunday. That's, of course, in reference to the passing of former President Muhammadu Buhari and the Awujale of Ijebuland, Oba Sikru Kaide Adetono, who died within hours of each other on Sunday, the 13th of July. The president made those comments as he spoke at the 8-day Fidao prayer in Ijebu-Ode. Now, The Guardian reports the Enugu State Electricity Regulatory Commission has issued a new tariff to Main Power Electricity Distribution Limited, the utility that succeeded the Enugu Electricity Distribution Company for electricity distribution in the state. Let's look at the leadership. The leadership reports that Kaduna State chapter of the Nigerian Union of Teachers has threatened to shut down school operations in the state over the non-implementation of the 70,000 naira minimum wage. The union declared that failure to pay the new wage by August 2025 would leave them with no option but to embark on an indefinite strike. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed, as we know, the Minimum Wage Act on the 29th of May 2024. Now, while Kaduna is yet to implement the minimum wage, Gombe is waiting from directives from the Nigerian Labour Congress. States like Zamfara, Lagos, Oyo, and others have actually already started paying this minimum wage. To the Daily Independent, it reports that Senator Natasha Akpoti Oduahan has been warned by the National Assembly really to stay away. This is as, of course, the debacle surrounding her suspension and reinstatement continues. The Daily Sun leads with the demand for 12 more states. But Bauchi South Senator Shehu Buba Umar has refuted reports that the Senate has already approved the creation of 12 new states. And then we have the Inquirer, which leads with the feud between the University of Abuja and the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, over land grab allegations. And finally, the Punch, of course, reports on the battle to be the next PDP flag bearer. That battle has begun, of course, as Atiku Abubakar has left the party. Those are your papers.
All right. Hopefully we can have a chat tomorrow. Thank you so much, Ede.
Always a pleasure.
Welcome back from Ogun State.
Thank you.